Everybody, what's going on? How's it going? Welcome back to the shop. I'm out here again today, of course, messing with the 5.9, getting it all ready to go. And we got in the clutch parts. I finalized what I'm doing with that, and I want to show you what all I got, give you the part numbers and this, that, and the other. So I've got the engine hanging here from the wrecker because I needed to pull the pan. I did the rear main sealing all last night, and I couldn't do that with it sitting in that thing on the ground. So, yeah, I just picked it up and worked on it from underneath, almost like on a lift. So, got the Vela housing on, flywheel housing. It's all good to go, should be. Hopefully that rear main doesn't leak. It gave me a bit of issues going on, but we'll see. So let's start off with the flywheel. A buddy of mine, Doug, brought me this flywheel. He had it sitting around for a long time. Came out of I think a Freightliner that had a 6-speed Eaton in it with the 12 valve 5.9, and so I had to have it machined. It was pretty chewed up and actually warped, apparently. And if you look here, you see the ring gear has actually been welded and then has cracked again. I don't know what the deal with that was, but anyway, here's the part number, what you need. It's 3908574 from Cummins. That's a 14-inch flywheel. I think it's 173 teeth. Anyway, so the inner diameter here is 52 millimeters, and I'll show you how you take care of that after a while. Now here's the clutch. I ordered this in town from Sattler's Truck. Let's see if you can. Louisiana Truck Parts. Yeah, anyway, that's where I got it. Came from Evansville. I don't know whatever supplier they used to get it. Here's the part number. I've already wrote it down so I wouldn't forget it. It's a 107621-1 Spicer style. Now, it's important that you remember that distinction because there are two different clutches for the 107621-1. There's an Eaton style and there's a Spicer style. The Eaton style is up around $420 plus. Spicer style is under $300. I don't know what the difference is. They look close to the same looking at pictures of them, but the Eaton style is about 7-8 pounds heavier. So there's clearly a difference, and I just know that because of the shipping weight. But it's a 4-button ceramic clutch disc. It's rated for 500 foot-pounds, 1.5" tin spline, which matches up with the shaft on the transmission just fine. I've already actually set this disc on there, so I know it fits. Let's see. I don't know. I mean, it's just a pressure plate, right? I don't know how much more you need me to show you, but 12 bolts, so that matches the flywheel, of course. And this was, you can get this from, if you order it online, Phoenix Friction. I think their list price is $291, and it's about $31 for shipping. So I ordered it in town because if I have a problem, I can get them to warranty it. And it was $270 there, and then like $30 shipping, and then another $40 theft from Uncle Sam. Pilot bearings. There's two ways you can go with this if you're going to reuse your Spicer transmission. Now, the Eaton 6-speed used, let's see if you can read this, used a 6206. Now, this is a very common pilot bearing. Any truck supply shop will carry this. It's only about 20 bucks. It's a 52 millimeter outer diameter, and I don't know what the inner diameter is, but we'll find out in a minute. Now, you can get a new bearing like this and make a reducer bushing, which you see sitting right there, or you can buy one of these. It's an agriculture bearing, 206 GGH. Ag radial 3/4 RD. I don't know what all that means, but the thing about this is it's a metric to standard conversion bearing. It's not specifically meant to be a pilot bearing, and it is very stiff. It doesn't want to turn easy. Now that's probably just something that'll break in if you get it and turn it a little bit, but it is a Chinese bearing. So the thing about this is it's a 52 millimeter outer diameter and a 3/4 inch inner diameter. The only issue I would have with using this bearing is it's about 6 thousandths larger ID than the pilot is, so it's not going to want to spin all the time, which is, I don't know. I don't like excess clearance like that too much, because especially steel on steel, it can gall. So I had an Olight bushing made. My buddy Larry made this for me on a lathe. Turned it out in about 10 minutes. This is oil impregnated bronze, actual real bushing material. And what this does is it takes down the ID of the 6206, and it's a nice firm press in fit. You're not going to push it in there by hand. And it takes it down to a perfect 3/4. In fact, you can slide it on there and it doesn't wiggle around. So that's a perfect fit. And you know, it gives you two ways that it can spin. It can spin in the oil impregnated bronze, or it can spin the bearing itself, depending on how much load you've got on it. So this is the SKF number for the 6206 if you want to order that online. SKF is good bearings, even their offshore made one. These are made in, well, hell, this one's made in USA, so cool. Let me see if I can get you some measurements on the bushing here. It's a 1.178. The shoulder, 1.129, or 1.294, excuse me. Then you see it's shouldered there, so you can press it in without damaging the bearing, or bushing rather. Of 751, so just over 3/4 long. $750 ID. I don't know what else you might need, but anyway, that should be helpful enough. Yeah. Oh yeah, here's the thing with this. You see it's the races on both of these bearings are 16 millimeters wide, metric. The thing about this one is it's a 24 millimeter wide inner race. So it's not really an issue, because it will sit flush up against the flywheel, which when you have it pressed in the flywheel, or if it's flush against the crank. So when you have it sit pressed down flush in the flywheel, that's how it sits anyway. So it's not an issue. It's not going to keep it like sitting out too far, you know. Now, I don't know about the input shaft, if it might contact this or not. I just grabbed this as an option. I'm not going to use this. This was $13, so it's not really a big, like, you know, oh, I screwed up and I can't return it. It's $13. It'll sit on the shelf and maybe I'll use it someday. But the 6206 you can find anywhere. It's US made, and the bronze bushing is not going to crack or wear out, so I feel good about that. The only other thing with the clutch I have to check is the length of the input shaft and clearance and whatnot. What I need to do is lay a straight edge across right here and down and measure from the inside of the straight edge to the center of the crank here. I need to know that distance, and then I'll put the bell housing back on this transmission, and I will do the same thing over there from the face of the housing to the tip of the shaft there. I need to make sure that shaft isn't, the snout isn't too long. Because if that contacts the crankshaft before the transmission is butted up to the flywheel housing, then I'm going to have to cut off a bit of the end of that shaft. So better to take a couple of measurements and make sure that it'll work before I try to put it together and find out it won't. Other than that, I mean, the shop is an absolute disaster. I'm taking this time where I've got the motor out and out of the way. I've got to clean all this up. It's a good time for me to do a mid-project cleaning of the shop and get all the crap off the floor over there, pick my tools up, put them back in the box where they go, get things that don't need to be in here out of here. My radiator came in. So this is and I think I've even talked about this before. This is a $200 eBay special 4-row aluminum radiator for a early 60s Chevy C20 and C30 pickup. There's other guys that are using this in radiator conversions with the multi-fuel still in it, so I can't see why this wouldn't work with the Cummins as well. It's the right size, it's small enough. I'll have to build some bracketry for it, but I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. So thanks for tuning back in, guys. I hope this is informative for you. Almost couldn't speak there for a second. Got to finish up the motor mounts, get them on, and then full steam ahead. You know, I got a few more things to do to the motor, but nothing super big. So thanks for watching. Like the video if you would, please. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time.